This is INCRadio DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
Hello.
Hola!
Bonjour.
Konnichiwa.
Ni hao!
Ciao.
안녕하세요.
Mabuhay!
Welcome to Washington State.
Explore the sights.
Discover new things.
Appreciate the arts, music, and food.
Travel to new places.
Meet the people.
Make new friends.
In other words, come home with us.
Come home with us.
This is INCRadio Seattle, Washington.
Hello to everyone tuning in from Washington State and also all over the world. Thank you so much for joining us here on INCRadio Seattle. My name is Sister Jenny Martinez. I will be your host for today. I'm from the local congregation of Seattle, and so I'm super happy to be here with all of you guys and spending time together especially because we have such a fun topic today. You know, we speak a lot of different languages in this world, but one language that we can come together is on the topic of food. So that's actually what we're going to be talking about today. Hence our topic title, What's Cooking, Seattle? Our guests are actually here today. You'll meet them here in just a few seconds. And they're going to share with us their experiences on cooking and their knowledge on cooking, hopefully giving us tips, everything like that. But before we get into all of that fun stuff, let's go ahead and introduce them. Go ahead, Sister Jessica, take it away po.
Hello po, I'm Sister Jessica and my husband, Brother Emmanuel
po. Pangilinan from Bellingham. Good.
And do you guys have any shout outs po?
Shout out to Bellingham po, Sister Donna, Brother Rui, Sister
Speaking of Bellingham, ham is a food.
Brother Jeff, Sister Rosie, Brother Anthony.
Thank you so much, Sister Jessica and Brother Iman, for being here and super excited to speak with you. But before we move on to our conversation, we have a question for those who are watching. We want to know, what's your favorite dish to cook and what is your favorite to eat? Please let us know in the live chat and we'll go ahead and read that during the show. And also a quick reminder, we do play this fun challenge every week. Whoever hashtags the local congregation that they're from in the live chat, the most will then be announced as first, second, or third place winners on our next weekend show. And whichever brother or sister talks the most in the live chat will also be placed as first or second, third place as the most active next weekend as well. So please go ahead and get the conversations going. And again, we will be reading your comments throughout the show. Are you ready for a conversation, Sister Jessica and Brother Iman?
Yes po.
I think so po.
Awesome. Okay. Let's first get a little bit of background knowledge. We want to know, either of you can answer, what's your earliest memory in the kitchen?
Maybe one of my earliest kitchen memories is when I was little and my mom would ask me to grind peanuts using a mortar and pestle for kare-kare. Peanut butter wasn't as easy to get back then, and she liked making everything from scratch. So I remember using my tiny hands to pound the peanuts until they turned sticky, and it felt like such a big job at that time. What about you? What's your...
I'm not sure if they really want to hear my experience. Yeah, ready for it.
I'm ready for.
Yeah. My first memory in the kitchen was not in actual kitchen. It was out in the mountains when I was around 5 or 6 years old. I grew up in a farming family in Tarlac, Philippines. We planted sort of vegetables like eggplants and tomatoes, and would sometimes hike up into the hills to grow even more crops.
Wow.
Cooking back then was more of an outdoor adventure. I remember harvesting kamote or sweet potato, then building a fire with hay or dayami in Tagalog, and grilling it right there on the spot. No fancy oven.
Mm.
Sometimes we would get field mice.
The daga.
The dagang palay. Don't get me wrong po, dagang palay are real clean in the province of Tarlac. So we roast them and eat them too. Sounds wild, but back then it was just part of life. And honestly, they
Yes.
were good.
So these are field mice. Field mice.
Well,
Yes, I mean, would you ever, if you, so let's just say you find a mice in the house,
no.
would you? I'm just kidding. Don't ever do that. But that's actually such a beautiful memory, Paul, because we're so used to cooking in the kitchen nowadays with our modern technology. So it's really nice to go back. That was in the Philippines when that happened for you. And how old did you say you were, Paul?
5 or 6 po.
Wow. So you came here to the States at what age, Paul?
I was around 40 already.
Oh,
30.
In 30s,
30.
yeah. Yeah. We met in
okay.
Singapore, and then he had a job in here, so we migrated in here.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. So completely different from cooking in the mountains then,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
Awesome. Okay. So then I know you mentioned that you did cook there in the mountains. And Sister Jessica, I think you said that it was your mom who taught you how
Yeah.
to cook.
Yes.
Who taught you how to cook, Brother Iman?
actually, I wouldn't say one person taught me how to cook po. It was more like I learned by watching and helping out. My
Mm.
parents, especially my mom, were the biggest influence. I'd see them cook with whatever we had, using simple ingredients, but always making something delicious. There
Yeah.
were no recipes, just instinct and a lot of tasting along the way.
I know I was actually going to mention because, for the past few years now, 2, 3 years now, I've just been watching videos online on how to cook, but I admire how back then there was no cooking videos and you had to, like you've mentioned, you have to learn from instinct. So I imagine your foods to even be all the more delicious and maybe flavorful.
Oh, brother BJ can testify that.
Brother BJ. Do you guys, if you don't mind me asking, do you by chance cook for your family and friends as well?
Yes, but we love cooking for our family and friends and for the church.
Okay, and then what would you say they request the most? Like which dish do they request the most from both of you?
Well,
Adobo.
they love adobo, and I like making sinigang and adobo. Sinigang na baboy is my kid's favorite, and
Mm.
yeah, I cook it a lot at home. And adobo is my favorite too. It's something everyone seems to enjoy, no matter their age. And I've made it so many times, especially for church events. So it just feels easy and familiar now to do.
Hmm. Yes, I've actually tried cooking adobo before, and I do feel like it's like a very, if you're trying to get into cooking Filipino dishes, I think it's safe to say, right, that adobo was like one of the easiest
Yes,
Filipino dishes.
agree. Yeah.
Do you have like a special kind of way of cooking it? I know it's silly to ask, but I feel like it's very straightforward, but I do see here and there that some people make it a little bit different.
For my adobo po, I use a high heat and then put a little bit of sugar, brown sugar in it so that it balances the sourness of the vinegar po. That's my
Yes.
po.
Can I ask between the both of you, who seems to be the one that cooks the most in the house?
I think both of us cooks po.
Opo.
We take turns in cooking po.
Okay, so there's a balance there. That's good.
Yeah.
The top most requested on my part po was a sisig. That's my favorite. It's a popular Kapampangan dish that I really enjoy
Mhm.
cooking and eating. It's usually made with a mix of pork, chicken liver, onions, and chili peppers. Yeah.
Wow. And then the meat for that sisig, is it like cut up into bits? I kind of forget.
Oh, nowadays, because our place is kind of like especially when it comes to winter season, instead of using charcoal and cutting into pieces, sometimes I use air fryer and food processor, so it may faster. But it's not real the same with the authentic way, the
Yeah.
manual, the charcoal thing.
Oh no, I can only imagine. I feel like for you, but you probably prefer the cooking methods that you used back in Philippines or even in the mountains as compared to air fryer, those kind of things.
Yes.
Yes, I bet. I do need to taste their food one day because, like you said, if KBJ approves, and I think I will approve too. So would you both say that you're more of a follow the recipe kind of person, especially if you're learning to cook a new dish, or are you a wing it kind of person?
For me, I'm definitely more on wing it kind of cook. Growing up, we didn't really use recipes. We just cook with what we had trusted our taste. I learned by watching my parents, especially my mom, and it was all about feeling your way through the dish. Even now, when I cook something like sisig, I don't follow exact measurements. It's called tanchameter. You know tanchameter?
Oh,
Yeah,
Tatansyahin mo lang,
we just
tatansyahin.
estimate.
I just taste as I go and just adjust depending on what's available.
mhm.
Of course, I'll sometimes look at recipes for ideas or inspiration, but always end up putting my own twist on it. Cooking for
Mhm.
me is more about instinct and memory than following rules.
Actually, for me, that's something that I just learned actually really recent, maybe a few months ago. But because I'm more of a follow the recipe kind of person, only because, I'm learning how to cook, especially since I didn't grow up in the Philippines. So everything I'm learning now, it's like kind of like from my mom and other brethren and stuff. But I didn't realize that, like, yes, sometimes you can follow the recipe, but it doesn't mean it's always going to taste good. So, like what you've mentioned, you should always taste as you go.
Yes, po.
And that's actually a huge difference, right?
Mhm.
Yes, because before I really didn't know how that one simple thing can actually change up your dish. So thank you for sharing that with us. But we do have a few comments here that I just want to read. Um, We have a comment from Sister Blessing. She says, "Thank you, Sister Jessica and Brother Iman. Congratulations to Bellingham for Mr. and Mrs. Chef winners. Hashtag Olympia." We also have a comment from Sister Din Shiana Villina. Hopefully, I mentioned that right. She said, "Happy 19th anniversary, Shoreline." Also, Sister Tiarlyn Manalo. She said, I used to help my mom cook sometimes, but I should have paid more attention. Yes, hashtag Everett. Sister Carol Cleveland, she says, it's interesting visiting Filipino homes and experiencing the family's adobo. It's never, ever the same person home. Speaking about one of these comments, they mentioned Sister Tia, she said that she should have paid more attention to her mom's cooking. I actually want to ask the both of you, because you mentioned earlier that you had kids. Um, are there dishes that you've taught your kids so that, if one day they have family of their own, they can hopefully pass down that recipe?
Right now, well, we started from making pancakes first, the basics one, because they're still young.
Mac and cheese.
And making mac and cheese, simple recipes, and then we'll upgrade when they're a little older.
Oh, okay. So kind of like what kids like to eat.
Yeah.
How old are they?
10 and 8.
Oh, yes. When I was younger, I didn't want to eat Filipino dishes.
Yeah.
But it's like as you grow older, you actually really appreciate the Filipino culture and all the foods, because I'm here now. I know how to cook American dishes, but I'm here now trying to learn how to cook Filipino dishes. And I actually tell my husband all the time that we need to write down all the ingredients and the steps that our parents have in cooking, because, one day if, they're not here with us anymore, we have that with us. So yeah, that's actually why I asked you.
But
Okay,
yeah,
so
my daughter boy is trained now to eat the bagoong.
Yeah, she likes bagoong. Yeah, bagoong with
rice with egg and bagoong.
yeah.
and for those who don't know what bagoong is, can you let them know what is that?
It's a shrimp paste ball in English. It's like yeah, a shrimp paste in English.
Oh, I thought it was like little, for whatever reason, I was always told it was like tiny fishes.
They're tiny shrimps. Tiny shrimps.
Okay. And I actually like eating that with mango.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Is it safe to eat that with kare kare as well?
Yes.
Oh,
that's
that
matching.
completes the curry.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that's not something weird that I only do, but okay. So we've talked about a lot of the great dishes that you guys have made. Is there any that has there ever been a dish that you've both made that wasn't to your liking?
I've tried making pandesal, and the first batch didn't turn out quite right. They were a bit dense instead of a light and fluffy. Then I realized that I probably overkneaded the dough, which made them tough. And from that experience, I learned that the right amount of kneading is the key. Not too much, not too little. And it taught me that sometimes you just have to pay attention to the dough and trust your instincts to get it just right.
How about you, Brother Iman? Is there a dish that you've made?
Yeah, one time I really craved biryani, probably because
the Indian one.
Yeah, the Indian. Probably because I used to eat that all time when we were in Singapore. So I found this recipe online. The video made it look super easy, and honestly, the dish looked good. I figured how hard could it be, right? And it didn't come out anything like what I remembered. The rice was a little off, the spices were not balanced, and it just didn't have that magic. I think part of it is that I had no real reference point for what goes into making a truly great biryani. Watching a biryani is not quite the same as seeing someone cook it up close,
Yes. So I feel like you're more of a you really don't like the videos online than in watching.
Maybe for
Yeah, it is a different experience in when you are face to face, especially with those who cook, like I guess you said the biryani. My husband actually loves lamb biryani, and we go to an Indian restaurant, and they really know how to cook their own food. They're, obviously they're Indians, but when it's a different kind of ethnicity, sometimes it just doesn't hit right. So it's always best to learn from someone in that culture, for sure.
I'm convinced, and I would need to go to India and watch someone make from scratch, like actually stand there in the kitchen with them to really understand how it's done. Until then, I think I'll stick to ordering it from someone who knows what.
I know that I'm with you on that. There's so many different kind of delivery services now, food delivery. So hopefully you can order that lamb biryani soon. Okay, so for our very last question, I do want to ask you, because obviously you're both very experienced, and you did win Mr. and Mrs. Chef in our activity in our district. So what is your advice to all of those who are beginners?
For me, one cooking technique everyone should learn is how to saute properly. It sounds simple, but knowing how to control the heat and when to stir and when you just let things make a very huge difference in the flavor. A good saute can level up almost any dish. Over you.
Yeah, One cooking technique that everyone should learn is the art of balancing flavors and textures, whether it's making a crispy dish like sisig or a simple stew. Understanding how to layer flavors, salty, spicy, and sweet, can completely elevate your cooking.
Yeah.
For me, a key part of making sisig is knowing how to get the perfect balance of crispy and tender textures, while making sure the flavors are spot on. Um,
Mhm.
it is not about cooking the ingredients, it's about understanding how to make them work together in harmony.
Yeah.
And I think that's actually really important, Brother Iman. I know that I say this from experience because even until now, I mean, I understand what salt does. I understand what pepper does, but there's other, when I am following the recipe and I'm trying to learn how to cook Filipino dishes, sometimes I don't really understand what the spices do. So for example, bay leaves, we put that in, what do we put that in?
In adobo, we
So,
put that in adobo.
All right, in adobo. So when I was learning how to cook sinigang for the first time, I was just going off of my memory. I put bay leaves in there. I put potato in there. And then my husband tasted it and he was so confused on what he was eating. It didn't taste well. But thank you so much, Sister Jessica and Brother Iman, for being here as our guests today. And hopefully you can join us for more shows because, especially when they're in person, because we love to eat in person and hopefully you can make a dish for all of us. But again, thank you so much. Before we move on to Sister Hazel with all of the announcements, we have one last comment from Brother Von Torres. He says, it's more fun to eat food than cook food. Hashtag Oak Harbor. Easy for you to say, but just wait until you're married. Then you're going to be, it will be totally different. Sister Hazel, you're here. How do you feel about the comment made by your nephew?
No, I think that's Vaughn, which is my brother-in-law. It's
Oh,
Vaughn.
right.
That's like,
Brother Vaughn.
he's married.
I don't know why I was thinking about Terrell. Oh my God.
Yeah, no. Yeah. And yeah, my sister cooks for him all the time. So that's why he says that. Yeah.
Mhm. Thank you for the comment, though, Brother Vaughn. And sorry, you are married. So what am I talking about? Sister Hazel, go ahead, take it away with the activities happening here in our district.
Okay. Hi, everyone. This is Sister Hazel Valdez from the local of Everett. And so for the activity, we have one past activity, April 13th. There was a TSV talk in Tacoma. And then tomorrow, April 20th, will be the Kadiwa sponsored musical compilation activity in Shoreline. I wish I'm that talented to compose music. I love to sing, but I don't know if music is loves me. But anyway, and that will be at 6 p.m. So we are encouraging all the Kadiwas who are musically inclined to please join the Kadiwa activity. I was going to say us, but no, I'm Buklod. Tomorrow, 6 p.m. at Shoreline. April 25th is the CFO special worship service in Seattle at 7 p.m. April 27th is the binhi pasta making. That's another food and appreciation. Sunday, 3 p.m. in Seattle. And then also that same day, we have the district baptism at 5 p.m. also in Seattle. So I'm looking outside. It looks like it's the sun is starting to come out, but it's still overcast as usual for Pacific Northwest. But don't forget to bring extra jacket just in case it gets cold. And you can just take it off once it gets warm. Okay, back to you, Sister Jenny.
Thank you so much, Sister Hazel. Okay, so really, really quick, we actually do have our hashtag winners. In third place, we have the local congregation of Federal Way. Congratulations, Federal Way. In second place, we have the local congregation of Marysville. Congratulations to the local of Marysville. And then in first place, we have the local congregation of Everett. So congratulations to all of the locals. Sister Hazel is cheering for her own local, of course, Everett. And then we now have the top brethren announcement. We have in third place, Sister Maureen J. Flata from the local congregation of Everett. Congratulations. Second place, we have Sister Bianca Gagura. Am I saying it right, Sister Hazel? Gagura? Gagura. Okay, thank you. Thank you for saving me every day. For the local congregation of Marysville, congratulations to you. And then in first place, we have JC Sandre from the local congregation of Seattle. Congratulations, book. Congratulations. Okay, now we actually do have a Hidden Treasures video. Kuyatek, if you can take it away and play the video.
Hello everyone, tuning in to INCRadio Seattle. My name is Sister Kate, and today we're traveling north of Seattle all the way to the base of Mount Pilchuck to visit one of my favorite hikes. Heather Lake Trail is a beginner to intermediate friendly hike. The trail is located east of Granite Falls. It's a popular hike because of its amazing scenic views. You can also bring your furry friend along since it's a dog-friendly hike as well. The lake is located at the very top of the hike. During the summertime, it's very popular for those who want to swim or even fish. The trail is a mix of old and new growth with rocky terrain and a slight elevation as you make your way to the top of the trail. It takes 3 hours to finish in total, with a round trip of about 5 miles. So the next time you're thinking of finding a place to hike, visit Heather Lake Trail. This has been Sister Kate from INCRadio Seattle. See you next time.
Thank you so much, Sister Kate, for that lovely video. Hopefully, Brother Iman, you can visit that trail and then find field mice there. Just kidding. Just kidding. Okay, so before we close out today's show, we do want to remind you the many different ways that we can tune in. If you go on YouTube and you type in INC Radio DZEM 954, you'll be able to find us. And when you do, please do not forget to subscribe. We also have our website, incradio.org. So if you haven't already, please do share this with your loved ones, your friends, family, coworkers, and hopefully they can get connected and see what we do here in the Church of Christ. Apart from that, again, thank you so much, Sister Jessica and Brother Iman, for being here. On behalf of INC Radio Seattle, we also like to give a huge thank you to our beloved Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo. We also like to thank our Subsea President and overall CFO Overseer, Brother Angelo Manalo. We also like to thank our District Minister of Washington State, Brother Ramil Regino. Thank you to our Assistant District Minister, Brother Relly Rivera, to our CFO Overseer, Brother Chris Valdez, and our Executive Producer, Brother Manly Adaya, and of course, to all of you, the listeners. And lastly, but not the least, thank you to our INC Radio Tech crew. It is because of all of you that we get to do this every Saturday and get to connect with those from all over the world. Thank you so very much from INC Radio Seattle. We'll see you later.
This is INC Radio, DZEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ